Okay, let's go back to the note here from Adam.
So are we moving on to the citations then?
Yes, the citations are report from the hearings at the council meeting. And I think Terry was there, and Steve, and Sharon, and Chris. Sorry, I was gone again. I was in another meeting someplace, so I don't really know. So anyway, what Adam's note says to us is that he talks about Stone property used the outstanding claims of abandonment against 3 of their properties. Zoning hearing for the Huffords, the council voted 2-2 in favor of absolving the Hufford family of the outstanding claim of abandonment against their property. Failing to receive a majority vote, the claim of abandonment stands. The Hufford family remains responsible under the original terms and timeline of the claim, which I'm not sure I know what that was because I wasn't here.
I really sure don't know what it means either.
Okay.
They said it was abandoned. It's not abandoned. So
What did they ask you to do, Jewel? Do you know?
nothing. They told me to come to this meeting and you guys would tell me what to do.
Terry, can I ask you, I was told that there was a sheet of paper that it gave directions when it was posted. Is that not correct?
Just the standard survey.
Yeah, it didn't give directions. It just said that it was not to be entered.
Okay.
And then there was a letter written that said that all complaints had to be taken care of within 30 days, or the city was going to take care of it, but there was no list of complaints to be taken care of. There was just a picture at the back of the house.
Okay, and since I wasn't here, I don't know what happened at that meeting. But
Well, I guess I'm going to interject something that
Okay.
I've thought of a lot since that meeting. I don't know the feelings of the council, and I'm not going to get into the feelings of the council at all. I was very disturbed that if one, I don't know what we want to call it.
Citation?
Yeah, if one citation was voted to be absolved, I felt that both should have been absolved. That's my personal feeling. I cannot vote or speak for the council. I feel with all the discussion that was made that evening, we understood what the word abandonment was. So I feel under the grounds of how Mr. Stone was absolved, I feel that the Hufford should have been absolved under that same claim. I guess the
I
whole
was with
thing...
you. I mean, if...
And I don't know if we have the right to absolve that or not.
No, we don't. We don't have any...
You know,
anyway, no.
authority.
but I guess that was my feeling that evening. I think the thing that we did as a board or commission, whatever we want to call, we were tired of being the little tire.
It seems like they were
We wanted to be a bigger tire and roll a little harder.
And I understand that. And I know my house is not,
And there are
You know,
things that do need to be
there are things that
maintained.
need to be fixed, but it's not
But
abandoned.
I'm just feeling after that evening with what everything was said, what Adam read to us and everything, like I said, I feel that under that circumstance that we were read and directed by the city attorney, that house is not abandoned.
But it has been voted on, and they're
Right.
here to ask
Right.
what they're supposed to do, and I think they need to have direction.
Well, all I heard from the council, correct me if I'm wrong, was there's a hole in the roof?
Yeah, it's
And-
about this big. And it was from the ice damage over the winter.
Okay.
We hadn't got around to
But
fixing it
Chris,
yet.
that wasn't what they were, I don't know if the right word is charged. I'm going to use that word.
Cited.
Cited as citation.
They were actually
Citation.
cited for abandonment.
That's right.
And if that's not abandoned, which,
Well,
Well, under,
according to the council, it is.
okay.
yeah.
According to the city
That's our
attorney,
quandary.
But
according to the city attorney, he
it
said
is.
it's not.
Exactly.
So I'm still
We're in a
So-
lost as what to do.
Well, did you decide that, and I don't have, apparently...
No, what they told me was to come to this meeting tonight, and you guys would tell me what to do to fix my problem. Right, Terry?
Yep.
So
They don't want to give the direction, that's why they sent you here.
this is,
I'm sorry.
I just don't know what to
They don't
fix
know
if
what
I
it
don't
is.
have a
They
list.
don't need it. Yeah.
And I,
I'm with, and I go back to what Nick Frohart said at that meeting, that perhaps what needs to be done is citywide, there needs to be some kind of plan in place, so everybody knows this is what we expect on maintenance issues. Because I think this is a maintenance issue, not an
Correct.
amendment.
Right.
And we were planning.
And then everybody gets the notice, and everybody knows,
what's going on.
and
Yeah.
because, you know, we can only suggest to you what people bring to us. People will call and complain,
right.
or things that we've seen, and that's all we have to go on.
How did abandonment start in the first place? Where did abandonment come from?
Was that
Your-
dangerous
your-
building, your
yeah,
ordinance?
that
Yeah.
145.
I know, but who decided that these two things were going to be
Well-
called abandoned? Where did that issue
If
come from?
nobody, what do you call abandoned? If nobody lives in a property
And it
for,
becomes a maintenance issue. Isn't that what
Yeah,
it says on
yeah.
there?
Right, so are you asking who asked to have them declared abandoned?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think she's asking who directed him to do that.
that was my
Right.
question.
Who's responsible
Who gave
for
the
that?
directive?
We did.
we did.
Right, but who brought it to your attention that it should be abandoned? Was it a private citizen,
There
or
were-
did someone drive
We had
around?
neighbors in your area, yeah.
Okay, that's,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We took pictures, we had complaints that were brought to us.
okay.
We get
And from the
complaints every
complaints, then you
month.
investigated it?
Yeah.
Right.
Then we go, where's this house at?
Right,
Okay, we'll
right.
drive by and look, you know,
Okay.
that's.
And these stones and you weren't the only one.
Oh,
yeah.
no,
Oh, I know.
no, we read that, yeah,
Yeah.
we're just the only
And
ones that spoke.
my question is just this, how do you determine whether it's abandoned or whether it's a nuisance or whether it's maintenance? That was my only question, was how did it come to be abandoned?
According to your ordinances, the city council ordinances, now not the planning and zoning ordinances, because, see, years
But-
ago, somehow the planning and zoning got stuck doing this instead of the council.
And
and I
it's
don't
this is
why.
nuisance abatement issue.
Right.
It is nuisance.
Yeah.
That's your deal.
That's the council and then.
Right, I would
And I
agree
don't-
with you.
I don't know where it came around. I started looking after this meeting.
Here
What is
is,
our responsibility?
Well, somewhere on that
Not us.
paper, they read the description of abandonment
Right,
right at
that's
the
in
meeting.
145.
It's in,
Okay.
yeah.
says whenever any portion of a building or structure remains on a site after the demolition or destruction of the building or structure, or whenever any building or structure is abandoned for a period in excess of 6 months, so as to constitute such building or portion thereof an attractive nuisance or hazard to the public. That's in the council ordinances 145.
Right.
But who directed him to go cite them for that?
We did.
Is it in your minutes directing him to do that?
The P and Z did because we'd had complaints, and so here you go. So, according to 145, it says the zoning administrator is responsible for the enforcement of this chapter. So the council actually directs Terry to enforce that chapter, not, we don't have a legal right to enforce it. These are council ordinances.
Basically, we shouldn't have directed him to do that. Right?
Right.
That's my point.
I think
The
that
council
there's something
Well,
wrong with,
And about the communication issue, we've had a council member on this committee, every
Right.
meeting I've ever been to.
right.
Why is there communication?
So why wasn't it
Exactly.
discussed? That's my
Why haven't we been told, no, wait a minute, this isn't your deal? Why haven't we been told all along?
I would agree with you on that.
That's why I brought it up at the council meeting. We need some direction.
Exactly.
This group
Right.
from the
I
city
agree.
council as to what our responsibilities are, what they expect of us, and they need some direction of what they expect of
So
us.
for these guys,
What we expect
what
of
that
them.
means for them, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what you can do now that it's been voted on there, and I don't know what we can tell you.
And
Because I don't think we have the
Right,
authority to be telling you anything.
and if it has to go to the next city council meeting, I believe that's right at the 30 days we were given.
Well,
So then, would we be fine trying to figure out what we're
No.
supposed to be doing?
no.
The procedure
No way.
is, we serve a notice, give you 30 days. Nothing happens, we serve a second notice, 30 days.
Okay,
Nothing happens, it gets turned over, a ticket is written then.
Right.
Then you have to appear in front of the judge and he
Right.
decides.
since we're trying to get it figured out before our 30 days is up, does this constitute figuring out before a second
Well, it
notice
looks
is
to me
given?
like you've already started, so I mean.
I guess
That's a good thing.
Right, yeah.
Being here
It isn't like
means that
Right.
you've taken the initiative to do something.
Okay, I just want to make sure that,
Okay.
okay, I just,
So,
I can share this copy of the council, I have one extra copy of this council ordinance, 149 on property maintenance. If you want it, you're welcome to take it.
But you know, this is what's crazy. You know, we talked about that night, we talked about shoveling the snow, we talked about mowing the yard and
You can
things
have
like
it.
this.
They mow their yard, they shovel their snow.
But here again, some of these houses that were posted haven't had an occupant for over 5 years
Or 20.
or 20 years. Is that abandoned?
They don't mow, they don't do anything, there's
I'm
nothing
saying
done to the
mowing
maintenance.
is
Not an
done.
occupant, yeah.
it's just that there's nobody lived in
Yeah,
there.
several mowing isn't done, but where did it? To me,
It's a-
abandoned
it's
is
a good-
abandoned. you
They're
know?
not living there?
Yeah,
they're not doing
right.
anything. Well, according to the definition in the council ordinance, it says 6 months. So if somebody hasn't lived in something for 6 months, it's virtually abandoned.
That was.
That's everyone who's trying to sell a house in this town.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's everyone who's trying to sell a house in this town.
I didn't write the council ordinances.
It doesn't absolve you of the responsibility for applying it smartly.
If we need to look at that, that's something we need to do, is look at the wording in that, because that's true, it is. It is everybody that's trying to sell a house, and that's huge. So, you know, maybe it's something that needs to be
But
brought
it's
back
also,
and,
but it's also, nobody in there for 6 months so as to constitute an attractive nuisance or whatever. A lot of people are still trying, I mean, if you want to sell your house, you have to maintain it
right,
in all ways.
right,
And it shouldn't be a maintenance issue then.
right.
You know, we've talked about this more than once, that the city of Early has like an inspection process in place where they inspect properties. If you own a property, be like, and you think maybe you want to rent it or something, or it's a property that nobody lives in, they actually have an inspection process in place, and somebody comes in and inspects the process, or the property, and if it does need to be fixed, they give them a list of things that need to be fixed, and if they're not, they tear the building down.
Actually,
Well,
at the
that's my
last early city council meeting, they ran up against that exact issue, and they decided that they didn't have the money to start tearing houses down, and so they just let it go.
Does the definition need to be clearer? Like, for instance, these folks over here, post it and say, you know, we're posting you because of the maintenance and this and this and this, you know, does it need to be defined to a smaller unit or not? I mean, I'm just asking.
Once you go to maintenance, then it's not this board
It's the
anymore.
police.
Okay,
Then it becomes the police department.
okay.
Then we're almost at the place where we probably should take the enforcement officer off of the planning and zoning administrators back and put it back on the council and the police.
I think so.
I think that's the part, I think that's what's wrong with
Everything
the
I've
ordinance.
read is, we shouldn't even be doing this.
We just have been told from the beginning that this was our job. We're like,
and it
Look
back.
at the literature, though,
And it back.
yeah, and we'll give it back to you, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to take a look at the whole 145 and 149 and rework them somehow. But that's the council's responsibility.
I know it is, and I'm not saying it's
Okay,
yours.
so should I go back to the next city council meeting and tell them what?
What legally should she do since it was voted on to stand?
If you've started to address the maintenance issues,
Well, we haven't because we were told we can't go in there.
We're told we can't do anything.
Yeah,
We can't do anything until this
I
was
believe
issued.
You
you can go in
you can.
to correct,
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Correct the shortfalls.
like
It's
if you had a
just that-
broken window in the front, you could go in.
We can go in and fix
It's
the
just that
window.
nobody should be living in it right now in
Right,
the current
right.
state.
Right.
Okay.
And that warning is just another thing in the city ordinance that part
Okay,
of the process.
all right. I didn't want to break any laws, so it said, don't go in, I didn't go in.
Well, in order to fix it, you'd have to enter it, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
but-
but we didn't, you know, we wanted, and then after the city council meeting last week, I said, okay, they'll tell me what to do.